Call tonight's December 19th Kenton City School District Board of Education meeting to order at 7. Let's go ahead and move to item 2. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Ledley?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Okay. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag is over here. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item 3, approval and correction of the minutes of the regular board meeting that was held on November 21st, 2022. I would like a motion for that, please.
Hensel.
Thank you, Rodney. A second?
Heidinger.
Thanks, Tasha. And any discussion, corrections need to be made? If we're all good? Okay, let's go ahead and have a vote.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Ledley?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Okay, item 4, principal supervisor, faculty reports and student showcase today. First on the agenda is going to be, I guess, Robin, are you in charge of it, I guess, right?
Yeah, not really in charge.
Not in
but
charge?
I will,
You'll get us introduced, huh?
I will introduce
Okay.
them.
Thank you.
So at the elementary, we have leadership clubs. And each teacher is in charge of a leadership club. And so at the beginning of the year, kids get to choose from a variety of clubs what they would like to do. They're usually top 3 choice, or 3 to 5. And this particular club is led by Mrs. Brooke Purcell, and it is titled Service Projects. And I believe they chose which projects that they would like to do, and they're going to talk about them today, and I will let them introduce themselves.
Awesome.
My name's Casey Miller in the 5th grade Service Project Club. What does the DPAWS Service Project Club do? We synergize with each other to help others of the community and the country. And we have fun decorating, creating, crafting, building, planting, and snacking. And my favorite part about the 5th grade DPOD Service Project Club is helping people in need and doing nice things for the community.
My name is Addison Heights, and I'm part of the DPOD Service Learning Club at KES. And in October, we planted white mums and added red decorations for the kitten colors in the pots outside of the KES entrance. And because there was weeds in them before, so we took all the weeds out and then we replanted mums into them. And my favorite part about being in the DPOD Service Club is helping people with what seems like a small act when it's really, really big to them.
Hello, my name is Peyton Pope, and I'm a 5th grade at Kenton Elementary School. In November, we made Thanksgiving face masks and pine cone turkey centerpieces for Hardin Hills Thanksgiving dinner. We had fun doing it. My favorite part about our club is where we help everybody in our community and our school.
Hello, my name is Elijah Lifer. I'm in 5th grade at Kenton Elementary School. In December, we set up and decorated the Christmas trees in the cafeteria. We also found out that the other one was broken, as the sides of the mechanism that put the tree up somehow came off. My favorite part about the DPOD Service Project Club is we get to do things for the community.
concludes our presentation.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, if you guys want to stay up there for me, we're going to get a picture real quick, okay? You did a good job.
Thanks for coming.
Bye, guys. They head for the nose.
Yep, they're out of here. Okay.
I need to get out of here before Ryan starts.
They didn't waste any time, Ryan. I guess you're up next, huh?
Yeah, the fun just got
Man,
started.
move out.
Worked so hard on this presentation.
This is weird because I've been joking. This is the first time I've done this December one in 13 years because I've always had Grace do it. I almost had her do it this year, but it was time. It was time to pass the buck back to me. So, I only have 5 updates. Should take less than 2 hours. First one up, our current stats. We have 1,850 students approximately across preschool through 12th grade and 190 staff members. And when I'm talking staff members there, I'm talking the ones in the classrooms because I realized today I didn't count bus drivers, custodial, cafeteria. And we do support those, so I should have put them. We need to forget them. We have over 2,000 laptops throughout the district, and enough networking to support all that. 300 pieces. I mean, it's amazing where we've come. When I started in 2000, because in 2000 we had 5 computers in every elementary classroom, so that was 40 a grade level because there was 8 classes at each grade level back then, and only 25 of those could be on the internet at one time. They just didn't have the capacity to have one. Wow. And now we do 2,000 without even batting an eye. We've done 2,300, almost 2,400 help desk tickets have come in since August 1st, and we've done very well this year, completing almost 2,500. Usually those numbers are reversed once we've usually got more in than we've been able to clear out, but we're doing pretty well. About 26 a day is what I figured out the average for us closing out those tickets. And I talk about the help desk and tickets a lot because that's our main way of us knowing what's going on in the district and how well we're supporting the district. Did this go all the way through?
Yeah, we're questions. You're done.
You're done, right?
Your 3 minutes is up. Sorry, buddy.
3 minutes.
Okay, so there's, I just talked about it. So, with Pixel Fire Design and Kurt Mulholland put together our new Kent City Schools website. So if you've seen that, did I present on that before? I don't know if I did. After we went live. We went live in October with that. And we're still using Wildcats app as our main what's happening at Kent City Schools. If you want to know what's happening at Kent City Schools, you go to Wildcats app because it'll have the latest news on there. But anything posted to there also feeds the website
and it feeds the individual buildings' news on the website. So if you go to the new website, go to Kenton Elementary School, you're going to see the new posts that were on Wildcats app. So we've got it all set up so we just have to post them in one place, because the biggest complaint I always get is I don't know what's going on in the district, and Wildcats app, everything's there, and it feeds out to them. And I'm sure there's things that you've tried to find on the new website that you can't find. Let me know, and we'll see about. Everybody has their own idea of what different pieces of information, what menu they should be on, or what button they should be under. So we'll try to figure out, because we'll put something up that makes sense, and then, oh, that doesn't make sense. So we'll work on that. I'm really excited. We were able to replace all the desktop computers in the classrooms this year, and we replaced them with there's a webcam and all the monitors, so our teachers can do interactive videos recording themselves with their monitor instead of having to rely on their laptop. It's a nice big 24-inch monitor, so they can do their work, they can use that webcam. We have a wireless keyboard or mouse to give them some freedom, and it does. If you don't have a wireless keyboard and mouse on your computer, you don't realize how many cords that it does clean up the cords. This is a staged picture here. Look how clean that is. But it does help having that wireless keyboard and mouse. And we also put document cameras on each one. That's that off to the left there. That way they can put papers, they can put books, they can do other objects that they can place on there, and then they can bring it up on their projector or TV to give a better image for the students. So that works really well, especially at the elementary level, when you want to do something quick. Say I had a book that, I want to show you this book. Now you can do it quickly without having to plan ahead, scan it in, make sure it's ready.
Is that computer hardwired in? Is that an actual desktop computer?
Yeah, it's mounted on the back.
But it's hardwired. It's hardwired in through cat fiber or whatever.
Yeah. It's hardwired in the network, and on the back, we found a power cable that will split off to power the Mac Mini and the monitor. So we just have to have one power cable go to it. We call it the Hardin County Engineered iMac because putting it together like that, it's not very pretty on the back, but it's functional, and it's 30% the cost of if you wanted to put iMacs in every place. So that's what we call it, but everything is behind that. It's mounted up in there.
Can the teachers plug in and do dual screens if they?
Right now, it
laptops?
depends on where they are,
Gotcha.
on whether they can do that.
Yeah.
They're at the elementary, they can do that. And we're going to do more of that. Right now, it's still happening, the dual TVs in the middle school, high school.
It's an alternate.
I'm pushing for, because we have our current TVs, and they buy new TVs for us in the new building. So I'm pushing to put dual displays.
His job's an alternate, right?
It adds some wiring costs. There's wiring and power.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Teacher technical manual. I look back on it, I started this pre-COVID, and then COVID hit, and I kind of put it on the back burner for a year or so. But now I've really started to push this out. I want to make the teachers more self-sufficient. They shouldn't have to wait on me for something simple. For example, at the elementary classrooms, I'll get help desks, the sound's coming out of our projector and not out of the sound reinforcement room. It's a simple fix. It's in the technical manual now with screenshots. So they can, we had a long-term sub that had that issue this week, and I sent her a link to it in the technical manual, and she was able to fix it. So it's little things like that that are in there. It also lists the software we have in use in the district, the hardware, so they might not be using it, but they'll, I didn't know we had this. I didn't know we had this Adobe Express in the district. So they can see that now, hopefully get them, they can ask me, I can go show them things. And right now it's 38 pages, and I just keep on adding to it as things, when somebody puts in a help desk especially, I don't have that in the help desk yet. So I'll do the screenshots and I'll put it in the help desk, and then I'll send them the link saying it's in the help desk, and it's in the tech manual. so they can become more confident in being able to fix things. And
That's probably constantly being revised and updated
Yeah,
and such, so
yeah.
it doesn't get to the point of
And-
hundreds of pages.
it might. It's pretty nice. So when they go to it, on the left side, there's a whole table of contents. But I recommend, if you need to figure out how to do something, do a search, because even at 38 pages, you can scroll down here so you can see. There's all the software we use, how much we support it. If it's 4 stars, we support it all the way. If it's 2 stars, you're on your own, but we'll help you a little bit. If it's 1 star, you're just on your own. And there are a few pieces of software that I don't want to tell them, no, you're not allowed to do this. So you can use it. I just can't supply any support whatsoever.
Why don't you put those in alphabetical order?
They are. The software is. This is all the software, and it's in alphabetical order. And I don't even think I have anything 1 star, because I'll help them a little bit.
There's some A's there.
Well, then we get to hardware. The hardware is not alphabetical.
Oh, okay.
And now we have frequently asked questions. So, how do I scan documents with the copier? And it tells them how to do that. There's no screenshots for that. How to give the giving access to the camera and the microphone for video conferencing on the Mac. That's in there. Screenshots to help them figure it out, because Mac has really tightened up security, and that's a big hassle for getting the camera. You have to ask for permission to use the camera, you have to ask for permission to use the microphone, and the first time you do it, you have to give Chrome access to the camera and microphone, and then Chrome has to restart, and then you have to go in and say, the website has access to the camera and the microphone. So it's all in the name of security, but it is a hassle. So I'm really excited about this. Teachers there's different editing modes for Google Docs. Teachers have suggesting mode for this Google Doc. So they can go in and add things. They can go in and make suggestions. It doesn't get published until I approve or decline it or reword it or whatever. But they do have access to do that. Okay, I'm talking too much. I was hoping to be done by now.
We knew that.
Just for that, Rodney, I'm going to talk a little bit.
That was me. I'll take
Was that you, Justin? Okay, last piece. We're going to start doing Tech PD. I'm going to start doing Tech PD with the teachers in January. Our first one is, that should have been sub in there. Did I put sub? No, I did not. I should have put that in the title. We are working on getting our subs up to speed with technology so they can sign in, they can use the computers, and the teachers can know that they can have the subs do things on the computer in their classroom with the teachers up there. So this is the teacher piece on, we have a shared drive that has a folder for each teacher in the district. Each teacher has a sub account. They can share things directly with that sub through that folder, so the sub can sign in, find the teacher they're subbing for, and see everything that the teacher put out for that day. So that's what the first one is, to get them up to speed. Each one of these I'm doing in real life at the elementary school or the high school, and I'm also going to record them, so the people that can't come can relive it over and over. And the people that do come can just relive it over and over.
Doesn't get too much.
Go Guardian is our piece of software that's very underused, and I want to use it more. It can do a few different things at the lower levels and at the higher levels. You can lock students onto only one tab. You can send out a link and say, okay, everybody go to this website, and you can send it out to all of them at once and keep them on that. So you don't have to constantly tell the students, well, go to this link that I'm sending you. You can push that out for them, so it kind of helps get that in place, then create scenes so they can have it all automated, so as they're teaching their lesson, they can actually change the websites on the students' computers as they're going. If the students are working on something, the student can bring up the little chat, and the teacher can assist that student, like if they're doing independent work. The student can ask the teacher for a question, and it will help some of those students that might be afraid to raise their hand or they don't want to be out in their classroom. They can subtly ask the teacher a question. The teacher can answer it without any distraction. So that's Go Guardian. I had these and the ones that I have planned, I shared a document with the teachers to get some ideas for Tech PD what they wanted. And one of them was, what's the best way of creating lesson plans? Well, there is no best way. It's whatever's best for you. But that's what that lesson is. And Lumen PDF is a great PDF service that they give it free to schools. So we have the enterprise plan of Lumen PDF. It's free, and we can use it. Teachers can assign PDFs in Google Classroom. The students can fill it out and turn it right back in, and the teachers can see what the students have done on that PDF. So it's a way for teachers can do a little bit more content paperless without having to plan out a lot of stuff. And then I've got 10 more classes in progress that I'll be sending out to everybody tomorrow, because everybody wants to get excited about Tech PD right before Christmas break. Yeah. Okay. Any questions?
Are you trying to get yourself out of a job or what?
I'm trying. I told when I first started here, that was my goal, is to get myself out of a job. But
You come to the right place. We can take care of that.
You're barking at the right tree.
they keep on adding new stuff. When I started, I mean, we had a printer in every classroom that was a piece of junk. And there's all these little things. When I did start, I said, I'm not doing anything with overhead projectors. I'm not supporting them. You're on your own with that overhead projector, because a lot of the classrooms still had overhead projectors. I said, I'm not doing anything with those. But every year something else new comes out, so unfortunately I can't get myself out of the job. Can't automate myself out of the job.
Well, we're happy to have you, Ryan.
Yes, we appreciate what you do, Ryan, as well.
Need me to present more often?
Sure.
I need to bring some students in next time. So. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Ryan.
you.
Okay, we'll move on to item 5. I didn't see anybody sign up for public participation. Is there? I don't think either one of you guys. All right, we'll move on then. 6, reports to the treasurer. We need to approve the following November 30th, 2022 reports: cash position, check register, receipt ledger, investment report, and journal entries. Could I have a motion, please?
Dick.
Thanks, Justin. Second?
Ledley.
Okay. Any discussion? Anything you want to talk about,
Just a
Jill?
couple things. Our audit has started. Everything's kind of been off-site, so we've been feeding a lot of the stuff into our computer and emailing it to him, so that's kind of been nice. Our interest, for just updating you on where we're at with our OFCC project and building interest, we've got almost $80,000 in our LFI, $80,000 in our local share, and state is about 13, only because we don't have a lot of draws going on there. I did submit the easement proposal. They said they're going to need time, because it's so close to the holidays, to get it to their legal team. So once we hear back from that, we can kind of go from there. We did have an insurance committee meeting today. We had about, 17, 18 in attendance. It went pretty well. I know it was kind of boring, but I just think it brought some good awareness to a lot of our staff and how all of this kind of moves internally, because they don't get to sit down at our insurance committee meetings. But I mean, we talked about financials and what is provided from the Jefferson Health Plan, and gave them a little financial overview of what revenues come in and expenses go out, kind of gives you an overview of our medical claims as a consortium, and then we've got to break down some things by just Kent and alone. So that was good information. If you guys ever have any questions or want something on that, please let me know, and I can always go over that with you as well. And that's it.
And I assume we were talking about the Columbia gas, is that what you were talking about with the easement?
Yes, yes, the
Okay.
easement,
Okay.
yes.
The easement.
Are they working across the street right now? What's going on across the street?
Well, they're putting new gas lines in on
Are
that
they?
side of the street, yeah.
Yeah.
All the way up those
So much
roads.
easement do they have on the other side of the street?
That's not ours, I don't care. There.
Well, I'm just saying they want 20 feet, or, you know,
Right.
they don't got 20 feet up.
No, I'm sure they
Maybe
don't
in the
have 20
front
feet
door
over
of
there
the most
either.
people.
Yeah.
No sense, but.
Okay. Anything else for Jill? Okay, let's go ahead and have a vote.
Mr. Lovely?
Yes.
Mr. Carmini?
Yes.
Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Okay, item 7, superintendent's report, communication.
Yep, going to go through a couple of things real quick. I know I had sent out that Garland Miller was going to be here, but then I also then sent out another thing that said that schematic design was pushed to January 9th, which is our next board meeting for the reorganizational meeting. So I just thought I would real quick kind of run down a few things just to give you more than an email. So Ryan, if we could start with the floor plan. Downstairs is probably the only one that we'll actually need, but just wanted to remind everybody kind of how we've gotten to this point. We did start with the visioning meetings way back in the spring. I had teachers, parents, custodians, cafeteria workers, bus drivers. I mean, we try to bring as many representatives in as possible, and we had 3 different visioning meetings talking about what we wanted to see out of this new building. Ryan, I don't know if you have the capability to be able to kind of zoom a little bit toward the center of that, but and from that point, then we had additional teacher-based team meetings that happened this fall where we got some more feedback, and so we've really tried to get as much feedback as we could as we were going through the design process. And a couple of things that were communicated is we know that it's important that our career technical education be included in this building. As most people know, right now it's in our Northwood, at least some of our classes are in our Northwood building. This is going to allow us to have all of those classes in the building for both middle and high school students to take advantage of. So I'll highlight one real quick while he's got it zoomed in there. By the main office, and those are the front doors there, you can take a left and go into the clinic, or you can take a right and go into the main office. But right on the other side of the clinic, and you'll notice it shares a door, is our health science tech classroom. So it's a little bigger because it's going to have hospital beds in there. They have dummies that they use. I don't want to get into too much detail, but just know that our career technical education classes have all been accounted for. One of the nicer areas for that is going to be toward the back. Ryan, if you don't mind, scroll toward the back, you'll see a very large lab that is also conveniently located right next to the entrance for our performing arts and our gymnasium. So when parents and other people come to our facility, they're going to see that large space there above the Performing Arts Center, Ryan. It's in green above.
Talking about the ag lab?
Yep,
Yeah,
ag
right
lab.
there,
Yeah, right there. That's a good-sized lab that's going to have actually 2 classrooms in it. It may not look like it right there, but it's going to have 2 classrooms plus a lot of area, welding booths, lots of different types of tools and equipment. But we wanted to put that on display. So that's one of the programs, and you saw the other program at the front. And then all down the center area are many of our other programs that people may not realize exist here, like our conservation class. That's on the right-hand side. It's similar to an FCS classroom, Family Consumer Science. Our art, we're going to have esports and a lot of tech stuff going on in the computer lab there. So there's just a lot that we're trying to make sure our kids are exposed to. Right now, unfortunately, they don't only see it if they go to Northwood. They're not going to see all that equipment. They're not going to see all those opportunities. This building was specifically designed to show not just our kids, but also our community and our parents, all of those career technical opportunities that our kids have. So we're excited about that. Some other things just from feedback that we have done, the core areas at the bottom have been separated so that way our middle and high school students are separate. So if you take a left, that takes you into that high school wing. So all high schoolers would be on that area, in that area, as well as upstairs
on that same left-hand side there. And then if you go right, which is Ryan scrolling to the right, I appreciate that, that would be our 6th grade downstairs. So 6th grade is going to kind of stay on their own as they come into this building. And then upstairs would be the 7th and 8th grade. So you can kind of see where there's some separation there, but yet they will share some of the same areas in the middle of the building. So just wanted to, I guess, show some of that so people can see that flexible environment there, but at the same time, another quick thing about the classrooms, you're going to notice they're fairly traditional classrooms, so you're not going to see garage doors on the classrooms, although that's happening in a lot of other schools. They're putting in garage doors to open up to other areas and stuff. After talking with our teachers, they really felt that they wanted some of that tradition of a regular classroom, especially in the core areas, math, science, social studies, English. But then there's that flexibility within the other classes, whether it's CTE or electives such as art and others. They have a very flexible space. So we kind of did a blend of the two, where you're going to have more of a traditional classroom for those core classes, but then a very different, unusual, maybe for, what we're used to, classroom for all of those specials. So you can see like there's a garage door that opens up into the computer lab. When we have esports events, people can sit out there and watch the kids gaming. They can actually earn quite a bit of scholarship in doing those things. So lots of interesting things there. And then, Ryan, if you'll scroll to the top again, I wanted to highlight one other area. Right up at the top there in the blue is all a big makerspace area. So many people know that in our library at the high school, we have a lot of equipment like a laser cutter printer, or I'm sorry, a vinyl cutter printer and a laser engraver. We've got quite a few 3D printers. We've got, there's just so many things. But again, unless you went into our library, you'd never see those things. Here, they're going to be on display. There'll be some glass there on the left-hand side, and so you'll be able to see all the equipment. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see there's actually 2 rooms that are kind of shoved underneath the Performing Arts Center, which is underneath the seating anyway, a audio room and a video room to be able to do audio and video production. And again, a lot of glass so people can see that. So when people walk into this building, they're going to see all those different opportunities that our kids have that a lot of schools don't, but that can also start the conversation with parents and others as to, hey, are you involved in that, and why not? Because we want our kids picking up skills that when they leave high school, they're going to be more prepared than others. So we're excited about that. Let's see. I'm going to skip down through some stuff here. I don't want to spend too much time, but I wanted to give you an idea. There are small group rooms at the end of each wing in the core areas, and those are going to be available for teachers to work with kids at the end of each side there. We thought that those would be important. Let's see, line of sight. Notice line of sight is really good in this building. We visited multiple buildings where you weren't able to really keep a good eye on the kids because there were different hallways going in different directions. This allows you to keep much better supervision, a lot easier. Good natural light in the building too. Every classroom will have at least 2 windows, and then that center area will have windows up top that will allow natural light to be coming in to that space as well. You'll notice all the classrooms are kind of located around the outside or the exterior. It's for that reason. You don't have classrooms in a center area where they're not going to have any natural light, so that was important. You'll notice a large cafeteria area in the center. That's because it was important to us that we try to get all of our kids fed between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. We didn't want them eating early in the morning or late in the afternoon, and in order to do that, we have to have plenty of seating. So you'll notice that area is a fairly good size area, but you'll notice there's a little wall there, and it's not a wall that goes all the way to the ceiling, but kind of a divider between your middle and high school students, even when they're eating lunch. We just want to have some division there, separation a little bit from those those students. All right. Lots of opportunities to put our students on work on display. We ask for a lot of display areas, so when you're in there, you can see all the cool stuff that they're doing. Teacher workrooms and restrooms in every core wing as well. So. All right, Ryan, the last thing is the site map. If you could bring that up real quick, I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. You'll notice there's a connector drive that connects the middle high school with the elementary school. That pattern is going to allow parents to drop off an elementary student and then move on over to drop off a middle high school student without having to leave the campus. They're not going to have to go up to 114 or down to Silver. They can just come straight across. Same thing at pickup in the evening. They can go ahead and pick up their elementary student and then move over and pick up middle or high school student without having to leave the campus area. We've also really paid attention to how we're separating the buses from all the cars, so that way we don't have any issues there, and also separating the student drivers from our parents and our faculty and where they're trying to pick up and drop off. So I think there has been a lot of thought that has gone into how this whole thing will move, so that way it should be smooth. Now, obviously, we know we're going to have hiccups when we first start and have to adjust some things, but we do feel like it's a good flow of traffic for our people so that we don't have a lot of people all in the same congested area. You'll notice the elementary is mainly going to come in and leave out 114, where the middle high school is going to really mainly come in and leave off Morningside and Silver. So that's going to keep those two buildings somewhat separated based on traffic as well. You know what? I think that's going to do it. I just wanted to give a little bit of an update and just a summary of kind of where we're at right now. Garmin Miller will be coming, but they're going to come in February because that's when our design development will be done. Schematic design, like I said, will be approved in our next board meeting, January 9th. Once that developmental design is done in February, we'll get estimates in March, and we'll have to go back through and make cuts again, which is never fun, but we'll get that done. And then June is when the actual bids go out. So that's when we're really talking, okay, what is the true cost? What can we really afford? And that's when all those decisions of, what can stay and what has to go will have to be made. June is really that time period. So, that's a lot. Any questions?
I just want to say, just for the public to understand how much time and effort has been put into the design of this building by staff and especially Chad. And I'm not sure that you could have asked anybody to do any more than what Chad has done on this building. I mean, I just wonder if he ever goes home. But it's painstakingly to try and get everything where it's supposed to be, and then you run into roadblocks with costs, and it's very stressful for him. So I really appreciate, Chad, all that you're doing for this. It's just quite an undertaking. So
thanks, Rodney. And as most of us know, he's at most all the meetings too. So yeah, appreciate that.
But it's not stressing me out as much as you.
Maybe not.
Okay, anything else, Chad?
No, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Item 8, board committee reports. There was none listed there. The only thing that I'll update you guys real quick on is Ohio High Point. I know last month I updated you guys that the new building was good to go now. They did get finalization of all that finalized now. They've got like 2 little small projects remaining. So things have went really well there. They actually did come in under budget, so that was nice for them to see. And they only lost a month during the whole pandemic of that construction, which I thought was pretty amazing too, that they stayed on task with that. The other shout out that I want to give is Tom Carrig. He will be retiring from Ohio High Point. He is a local Kenton guy. He's been there over 20 years teaching down there, so we really want to give him a shout out. Thanks for your commitment to those students down there. We really appreciate that. And that was it on High Point. Okay. Any old business? We don't have any old business to take care of, do we? New business, authorization and resolutions. I know you guys have probably had a chance to get down through there. 10A, we're just adjusting the substitute teacher rates. We've talked about that. So agreement with Midwest Regional ESC for Sheena. And then we've got some donations there in 10C. We appreciate those. 10D, really excited about that. Indoor track and field for a sports club for 2022-2023 season. And then we've got an update on the policy. 10G, looks like we're just moving a little bit of all resources around. Okay. Extending the Pepsi contract. One note that I do want to mention to you guys, we'll go ahead and have a motion for this, but we will extract out the 10L there. That one kind of has to be by itself for the President Pro Tem coming up. But everything else listed on 10 with the exception of 10L, I would like to motion to accept those, please.
Ledley.
I got Hensel first, a second.
Ledley.
Ledley, thank you, Brandon. Any discussion, question on 10A through 10K?
I do. I have a question on the Pepsi contract.
Okay.
So we don't provide Pepsi machines, obviously, in the schools anymore. So what's that contract involve?
It's the machines plus all the stuff that we provide for when we're doing sales on the football stadium.
So it's concessions.
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 Mhm. And then they give us the coolers for that as well.
So do we get kickbacks from Pepsi
Yes,
then?
yes. This is
And
all
discounts.
So where does that money go to from the
in the athletic fund.
Okay, so it goes back to the fund.
Yeah, for the concessions. But there are some.
But the question is,
Yeah.
Boosters is the number one provider of those Pepsi machines. So I guess that there's just confusion on, obviously they're the ones coordinating the Pepsi.
Right, but because it's the school's contract, we're the ones that have to receipt the money into a 300 fund.
Okay.
And the ones in the buildings, those go into the principal's fund. Not a big amount, I mean, those aren't the big generating revenues of any sort, but they do get a little bit of that kickback into their 018 funds, which then goes to pay for
Supplies and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I've talked with our booster president, just so he knows that we're going to help support whatever the project is with that kickback money that they're working on. Basically, we're going to allow them to kind of help choose where we use that money, because as you said, they're the ones that are actually selling it.
Yeah.
So,
And they're taking the orders every week and making,
Yep.
they're showing up and.
but the contract has to
stocking the
stay with
coolers.
us, but we can be smart about making sure the people that are using it, or, that make it, are getting to
Need to have some input.
make decisions, or helping to make decisions.
So it was my understanding what was told was that you were going to take that money and keep it in a separate line item, and then they were going to decide where that was going to get spent. Is that not what you're saying now?
We're keeping track of the amount of money that comes in from Pepsi, and you correct me if I'm wrong, from Pepsi for that, and then that's what's going to go toward those projects.
There's
I don't know
another-
about a separate
There's another
account or
300
anything.
fund, it's still an athletic fund, but it's going to be separated out.
Okay, so it is going to be separate.
So it's only going to be spent where the booster station wants to be, where they want it spent. Is that what you're saying?
That's my, yes, I mean, they can do it, between Brett and the, whatever they decide on, they're gonna, yeah. Because we've already moved $5,000 into that.
Okay.
I think we had that on the last agenda
Okay.
that we moved, or was it this one?
No, I don't think it was. Oh, that's 5,000. Well, no, that's connectivity.
Yeah,
So it must have been.
yeah, yeah, yep.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page here on
We're
what's
on
happening.
the same page.
Okay.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be easier if they got their own contract?
It gets,
Yes, but because we have machines here, I mean, it really is a school's contract. It's not a booster contract.
Pepsi
That's
probably
way
wouldn't do
normally
the
all
contract for
schools
their.
operate.
So the problem is all the vending machines and the coolers and everything, they supply those. So if
Correct.
you just move it to the boosters, then they're not going to have anything for the rest of the buildings or whatever. So
Right,
that's
exactly.
why they
It's all
do it
gonna
that
be
way.
one big contract.
Seems like it's a big cluster.
Well, even though the boosters sell the most of anything, the majority of it, probably 99% of it is what they sell. And it works good for them. They could go buy that material cheaper somewhere else, but Pepsi delivers it to them, and they have their own, they supply the coolers, so even though it's cost them a little more, it works out better for the boosters that way.
Yeah, and by contract, we're not supposed to be buying from anyone else. I mean, we're supposed to be utilizing, because they are providing those coolers to us, and they will come out. If there's anything wrong with the coolers, they will service them. If we don't abide by the contract, then we negate them coming out and keeping up with our coolers and things like that.
So if we're putting Coke products in the
Yeah, that
Pepsi.
would not be good.
Not a good move on our part.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. For sure.
Okay, any other discussion? A through K? we'll go ahead and have a vote for that.
Okay, Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Ludley?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes. Do you want to do the 10L now, or do you want to move on and come back to that?
Whenever.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do that now, since we're there. That way I won't have to backtrack. Approve the appointment of a president pro tem, which obviously can't be the treasurer or superintendent. I guess we just need to look for an appointee.
I'd like to nominate Doug to be president again for another year.
I second.
Okay, do we need to take a vote
Yes.
for that? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and I guess we don't need a motion, we already got a motion, didn't
Right,
you?
yeah.
So I guess we just need to have a vote on that.
Right. Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Ludley?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
I'd like to abstain.
And then Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Item 11, personnel items. Approve the following substitutes for the 2022-2023 school year contingent on their paperwork. I've got a few more, looks like, Chad. I know
Yes.
put it out there for people
we need, so.
that would need that. Need a shout out probably for some more school bus drivers, though, don't we?
We do,
We need to
although
put
we
that
did
on.
get two. So.
Awesome, great. Medical leave was sent for Lucinda Hastings. And then the volunteers for the indoor track and field that we approved earlier there. Medical leave for Doug Comstock. We wish him the best with some,
He's already back.
oh, is he already back?
On a limited basis.
A limited basis.
He had to twist the arm of the doctor.
He's got desk duty? Uh-oh, okay. But he's loving that.
Yeah.
And then we've got another medical leave and then maternity leave for Caitlin Ramirez. She told me today that she'd actually found her own substitute, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah.
Miss Martin's coming back to fill in for her, I think. So I need a motion for 11, please.
Dick.
Thank you, Justin. Second?
Hensel.
Thanks, Rodney. Any other discussion, questions on personnel items? Okay, let's go ahead and have a vote.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Ludley?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Okay, item 12, approve a motion to go into executive session to consider the appointment of public employee or official. Time in, I think, is 7:48. And there'll be no additional actions taken, right, on that?
Right.
So no additional actions will be taken. We do need a motion to accept that, though.
Heidinger.
Thanks, Tasha. And a second.
Hensel.
I got Hensel first there, okay. Do we need a vote now?
Yes.
Go ahead, let's have a vote on that, please.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Ludley?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess do I need to adjourn now, or what? We'll
No.
adjourn that at the end, won't
At
we?
the end, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Next regular board meeting and reorganizational meeting will be held on January 9th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Thanks, everyone.